Okay, so we've mined out a little more. I still haven't built a structure to protect myself, unfortunately. I set off the turtle, building an area where I can maybe try to go in tree. So maybe we'll try to do that in a minute. But right now I'm going to build something called the Induction Smelter. And this is going to allow us to double our ores without having to go through the extra step of pulverizing. Requires N-bar ingot, machine frame, bucket, copper, redstone reception coil. All these things I have hopefully organized in here. The glitch that seems to not ever be fixed in each iteration of Feed the Beast is that the project table doesn't transfer the recipes correctly when you click on the question mark. So that's a little bit of a nuisance, but if you shift everything one to the right, you should be okay. So, put those things together, and now we have our Induction Smelter. And one of the other things I wanted to demonstrate with this was what you can do with regular transport pipes. So since I want to end up with these things still in my output chest, I'm going to set the output to be on the left side, and I'm going to take some cobblestone transport pipe. That's the waterproof pipe. Some just plain old cobblestone transport pipe and point it at this chest. And then when I put an ore in here, if it's powered, which currently it's not powered, so let's run a pipe here. I might have to fix this at some point because the pipes do not like to be in circles like this. You'll see it just grow and grow and grow right there. And then it'll eventually just blow up. So what we might need to do is just bring it up one more. Luckily we have the pipe to do that. But it also means that you can't do very close configurations because the pipe is going to hook onto itself, and then that's going to give you problems. So we're induction smelting some iron ore, and what that will give us is 2 ingots per ore, and that will go right through this pipe and right into the chest, provided there's no output specified elsewhere. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't going in the furnace. There does seem to be a glitch where it doesn't necessarily show the items passing through the pipe, which is a bit of a nuisance. So we'll just watch this count and make sure that it's passing the items into the chest. And there went to 35 and then 37, so we can tell it's working. So now we can bypass the pulverizer, but we do need to keep feeding it sand so the pulverizer can be used to generate the sand. Unfortunately, what it's doing at this point is pumping that way, which we don't want it to do. We want it to pump into the induction smelter now. So we can go over to this side and place another pipe here and tell it to output the sand to the top. The other thing we need to do is make sure that this is set to receive what we're sending to it, otherwise it'll kick the items out like it just did. So now what we want to do is make the Thermionic Fabricator that we talked about earlier. So in order to do that, I'm going to need a sturdy casing, which is made out of bronze. And the way we get bronze, I don't know if it's actually listed in NEI. but you can get it by placing the items in a crafting grid, copper and tin, like this, and you get bronze, and we need 8 of those to make our sturdy casing. And then we just need some glass and a chest and some gold ingots, and we have our Thermionic Fabricator. And what this allows us to do is make electron tubes by melting glass and placing a recipe in here, which I believe we need some gold ones, so I'll just demonstrate with that. And a little bit of redstone goes in there. And I believe because we're not at temperature is why it's not working properly. Supposed to be spinning that sand out the side. That's not right. So I'll have to... oh, this is full, that's why. No good. We actually need some more glass, so let's cook up that sand in there. I'm not sure why it's not showing the recipe. Maybe it's not getting enough power. We'll flip that one up. What we're trying to make is something called a Arboretum, which will grow trees for us. And in order to do that, we need this golden electron tube, which is made like this. So we place glass or sand, and depending on what we place over here, you have to wait longer for it to heat up in order to melt that. And then, you know, just placing the items in this configuration, you can get the golden electron tube out, and we only need 3 of them. We also need a basic circuit board, which requires this carpenter. So that'll be the next thing that we'll probably pursue. For the carpenter, we're going to need 14 bronze and some glass. So we'll go ahead and get those out again. Closest we can get is 16, so we need a sturdy casing. And you see the product table goes ahead and positions things to make another one for us. But if we do some bronze on the side and a sturdy casing in the middle, we have our carpenter. And we'll place... where do we put it? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I'll place that right up there. Hopefully that won't send items in. That pipe doesn't seem to be working, so... oh, it was just because this was full. What we may want to make in order to prevent things like that from happening is an iron pipe. So let's go ahead and construct one of those. Or 8 of them. And then what we can do with that is put that in here instead, and then hit it with a wrench to prevent items from flowing into places where we don't want them to go. Didn't see the wrench there. So hopefully this should take items from there and go into there. Let's test it with some more cobble. And of course, since we're not seeing the items, hopefully I don't have it reversed. It's going somewhere. Okay, it's going in there. Yeah, there it goes. It's increasing. So we'll just keep this sand in reserve. Now the carpenter needs water for most of its recipes. and it'll also need redstone. What we're trying to make is that basic circuit card for the Arboretum, which is just redstone and tin. So what we need to do is find some more tin, some more redstone, place that in here. Now this one works a little differently. What you have to do is left click to tell it it needs that resource, but it doesn't actually put the resource there. You see I still have 32 tin, and then to remove it I can right click to pull it back out. So I just tell it I want this, and there's my medium circuit card recipe. Since I manually placed a bucket of water in there, it has all the resources it needs to make that. Our Thermionic Fabricator has heated up enough. See, this is the temperature, it only needs to get up to here, that we can pull out 4 golden electron tubes. Later on we'll need things like iron electron tubes. I think we might need some copper ones, tin, silver. I don't, just make them while we have the resources handy. Tin, and then I'll make some copper as well. And I don't know if we will need silver, but we can make one of those as well. Oh, I guess there is no silver one. Okay. I know there is a diamond one that we're going to need later on, but we don't have the diamonds at this stage in order to do that. So that will have to wait for a later time. And I don't have any more gold, otherwise I would continue making these gold electron tubes. Our circuit card is done, so why don't we try to go ahead and put together the Arboretum, which is going to require another sturdy casing, which we already know what that is. And that is some tin. Sturdy casing is done. And then we have glass, I believe it is, in the electron tubes, and so these go in this configuration, the glass goes here, and then our circuit card goes in the bottom, and now we have our Arboretum. And I'll show how that works in another episode.